Okie dokie nerds, welcome back to another vintage video. Today we're playing some AggroVine with more Edge of Eternities cards. So, AggroVine is, I guess, a tier 3, tier 4 deck these days. It's not particularly great, but it is a lot of fun. The idea being you are a Bazaar of Baghdad Lizard Vengevine Hollow One deck for those fast Bazaar starts, and you are typically mulliganing through powders to find your Bazaars or playable hands. And once you've done that bit of the day, you then turn into a strip mine deck, or using the lizards that are in play, you can use a Gaia's Cradle to power out a Collector Roof, or power up a Hex Drinker to get through board stalls and that sort of thing. However, in Edge of Eternities, we found this gem, Frenzied Baloth, which can't be countered. It's got Trample and Haste. Creature spells you control can't be countered, and combat damage can't be prevented, which means if we can, for example, play a Bazaar, dump some Vengevines, and then play a Yavimaya Cradle of Growth the following turn, or something, I don't know, basically get this guy into play. Our Hollow Ones and Lizards don't get countered by Vexing Baubles, and our opponent's Wandering prevention trigger isn't going to work, which is quite exciting for these decks, because the way Bazaar loses a lot these days is your opponent chains multiple Wanderings together, and then you die. For the rest of the deck, I've got a Dismember, a Mental Misstep, Chalice, some restricted mana, and then post board, we've got 2 Mindbreak Traps, 1 Life from the Loam, 2 more Besagers, so just more disenchants, and then 3 Ravenous Trap, 4 Leyline, 3 more Dismember, there's 1 in the main. I've got my basic Forest because I like it. I've got 19 lands, which gives us a bit more discard equity as we plow through the deck, just because you can ditch excess lands. And yeah, that's that. I was going to play Ice-Till Explorer, but I thought Frenzied Baloth actually has hope, whereas the Ice-Till Explorer, I've played expensive cards in this list before, and a lot of the time you just end up discarding them because you need to get on board and you don't have 3-4 creatures in play. So, let's take this through a league, see how we do, but this is Mono Green AggroVine with Frenzied Baloth in Vintage. So yeah, let's give it a bash. September 21st, 2025, we have London Vintage 7. So, if you are in the UK and you want to come and play some paper vintage, then scan that QR code just there on your screen, or in the description below, there's a link to the event page, and I hope to see you there. Okie dokie then, round 1, we're up against Vendilion Misclick, which is a name that I recognise, which is exciting. And we're on the play. So, let's grab some opening cards and see if Frenzied Baloth can do anything. Big pause on our opponent's side of things, so I imagine they're about to reveal a companion. Yep, they have a Lurrus. We have a Powder. Yeah. And we've got another Powder. So we've only got 1 Hollow One and 1 Wasteland left in our deck. But hey, look at all my lizards. So I'll keep this. There's a good chance we just get wasted on 1. Unless they're Lurrus PO. Our Misstep's gone, which is upsetting. And then, yeah, 3 Wastelands gone. 1 Vengevine only. So we can still hit a Vengevine off this turn 1 play. Yeah, we can still hit Vengevines, and where I've got the backup Bazaar, if I hit multiple Vengevines, I might just discard all of them and then come back next turn. I hit 0 Vengevines, so I'm just going to dump Triple Lizard into play and hope it's good. We could come up against a Orc on turn 1 if they just go, yeah, Landmox Pass. Not played against Lurrus in a wee while. My last video I played against 0 Lurrus decks, which was delightful. Like, I don't think Lurrus should be banned, but I am done with it. One of those cards that, you know, if it ever goes, I won't miss it. But I don't think there's any reasonable way to advocate for it to go, sort of thing. So, opponent's turn 1, we've got 3 power in play. We've got a Bazaar of Baghdad, so they're incentivized to wasteland us if they are a controlling list. If they're a PO list, then our main aim is Collector Roof here. Underground seems pretty inconclusive. Ponder might make it Lurrus Doomsday, actually. Now that we're here. Maybe the blue-black only lists play a Ponder or 2. That's a really interesting card for them to play. I think maybe they can be on Doomsday or blue-black control with a couple of ponders. That's a Black Lotus. BBB. Just straight up Orc. Fatal Push. Into Orc. Okay. So it's just blue-black control. And we are a long way behind. I've got one Dismember in my deck. That's a hollow one. So probably attack and then activate to get this hollow one into play. Yeah, it's going to chump. That's cool with me because that means their guy doesn't get too big. This is my only hollow one. And that's not very good. So let's go Collector Roof, Frenzied Baloth, I guess. They'll get a 2/2. I'll go to 18. Then we'll strip mine that Underground Sea to play around Days. And then we'll cast a hollow one. They've got 3 cards left in hand, no mana in play. They can still easily have a Force of Will here, but they don't. They might have a Wasteland, but I'm not too stressed about that at the moment. Because I've got another Bazaar. But I'm not even that excited about another Bazaar because of the Orc. So this continues to survive. I think I'm going to have to activate this turn. So let's get in for damage first of all. Maybe that's bad. So I'm trading a hollow one for a 2/2, not a hollow one for a 4/4. They just take the damage, which I'm quite on board with. And I think I need to go and find a Cradle of some variety, so I'm going to do that. I've got 7 of them. I've got 0 of them. So I'm going to get rid of the Bazaar. I don't think I can have 2. And I can't really activate again into this Orc token. So let's go Collector Roof, Hex Drinker. And do I play Wasteland? I guess I do. Make them fetch something bad. And then I'm probably cold. They don't fetch, which makes sense. Maybe my attack's really bad. So I'm going to have to end up trading this hollow one for the Orc army. Although it's getting in with the Orc and not the army token, which is odd because they are winning on board. They miss a land drop though, which I quite like. Let's have a Seiju. I've played a Fatal Push already. I'm just going to cast a Hex Drinker. That gets in. I think I attack for 4. Maybe that's bad. I don't know. I think attacking for 4 is fine. I think I've got to deal some damage. I still haven't decided whether I'm putting a counter on this Hex Drinker yet. I will put a counter on the Hex Drinker because they're always getting a activation with Underground Sea anyway. Maybe I give them 2 by doing this, but they might just go and get like an Undercity here. Get a bit of sculpting going. They've not got a lot of mana. They've not got a lot of cards. Well, actually, they've got 4 cards in hand, so they can have 5 after their draw step. And then this Undercity needs to find them like a push or something. Otherwise, my Hex Drinker's going to be a 4/4. And they're going to be sad, I presume. So that's a Mox Pearl. That gives them a nice little boost in mana. Likely what they kept on top, so it's the same 4 cards as before. And this is a second Orc, which kills my Hex Drinker. So now we get to Wasteland them. I've been through 2 Hex Drinkers there. So I've still got 2 more Hex Drinkers. We're halfway through our deck. I'm not sure how to get out of this. Vengevine. Can I ever activate? I don't think so. Let's just strip and then pass the turn and try and build up on cards before we get one activation, and that activation will likely kill us anyway. So it's like land Baloth. Yeah, I don't know how this ever works. Yavimaya. Let's just make a 3/2. I can't counter this. Can I attack? No, probably not. Almost assuredly not, actually. So I'll pass the turn, and then they've got an Underground Sea and a Momentum Breaker, which kills my guy. Okay, I think we're good. Let's take a draw step and then go to the next one. And this will be a matchup where we bring in Life from the Loam, we bring in those Dismembers, and have to think harder about how we play against Orcs. I can't deal 15 from here. So let's just go to the next one, I think. Just classic non-dredge Bazaar against blue-black Lurrus there. I like the Loam here. I like the Dismembers in some quantity. I don't know if in a quantity of 4. And then, yeah, I think 3 Dismembers is fine. This doesn't really do anything. Force of Vigor isn't great. Maybe Force of Vigor can go completely, and I can just bring in the other 2 Besagus, and that way I'm just like super good at drawing lands. I've got Dismembers, I've got Loam for my Wastelands. And we can just try and become a mid-range deck. Although this Collector Reef is pretty suspect, but Collector Reef is going to kill Soul Guide Lantern, Nihil Spellbomb, Tormod's Crypt. Is 4 Collector Reef just ridiculous though? I don't think so. But would I rather 3 Collector Reef and a Dismember? No, I think I'll keep the 4 Oof. Just have consistent mana and consistent threats. And like the Collector Reef might just be annoying enough against them. Because the Graveyard Hate's not actually really good against us, right? I've only got 4 Vengevines, which come out of the yard. Now I've got a Life from the Loam. So yes, I am a Bazaar of Baghdad deck, but I'm not a super graveyard-centric deck. I don't know. I think this looks fine. So game 2, we're on the play again. And opponent has a Lurrus. I might keep this though. Turn 1 Collector Roof. Misstep your push and strip mine you. I think I like that as a general game plan. And then I can play a Lizard, and that seems acceptable, right? Or is that just nonsense? I quite like having the Emerald backed up by the strip mine, but I don't think it's good enough actually. I think I need to be more explosive. This is the same thing followed by a Hex Drinker. I think I might keep this one though. Like, it's not incredible, but it's going to do something for us. We can play a Mox Emerald. Because Hex Drinker is really good in these matchups. If we can get Hex Drinker out before the Orc comes down, like up and out, that's really good for us. So, Collector Roof lands. We will let our opponent go. They've kept on 7. Just a strip mine, that's fine. I've got mana for days here. And we can go Cradle into Hex Drinker into attack for 2. And then next turn they're going to Force of Will the Hex Drinker, pitching a Force of Will. So we just attack for 2. But they're scared of the Hex Drinker. I get a Frenzied Baloth next turn if I don't get Wastelanded. Opponent has a Polluted Delta. Do you have a Fatal Push? Fatal Push is sort of okay, I think, unless they're holding a bunch of Moxen. They fetch immediately. Get a basic island out. And then cast a Pithing Needle, naming something. Bazaar or Hex Drinker, I guess. I think the secret's out that I don't have a Bazaar, so you just don't need to name it. No, they name it. Okay. I've got 4 Besages in my deck, and that was kind of the plan there, right? So let's go Gaia's Cradle into Frenzied Baloth. We can kill almost anything that they play next turn. This can't be countered, and you take 5. Bang, bang. So opponent falls to 11, and our shitty little beatdown plan is starting to look decent. They've got a basic swamp as well. So they found all their basics this game. And they just long goodbye the Frenzied Baloth. That's cool. So Serum Powder, that doesn't do anything for us. Let's just attack for 2. And we could be starting to die here. This is just pretty par for the course, really, in this matchup. It's this and Oath that this deck really and Doomsday, and well, there's a long list actually. Let's not get into it. But sometimes this deck can grind, and then other times this just happens. Our opponents just 1-for-1 us all the way down. Like we did get a card back when they named Bazaar off of Pithing Needle, but our 3 spells didn't quite cut it. It was that or going to 5. Maybe our first hand was better. They've got an Underground Sea. Looks like they're buying Lurrus. Oh, no, they're casting a Dig, maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need to tap the swamp as well. Okay, dig 3 times, fine. 2 cards going up to 4 cards. Dig 3 times resolves. Opponent's made a land drop this turn. I'd like another Frenzied Baloth off the top, to be honest with you. Wrong color lizard. Okay, well, in we go. Opponent falls to 6, but I don't think that means a lot right now. Because they've just dug 3 times, so any removal spell just completely neuters my clock, and I'm holding a powder and an uncastable lizard sort of thing. I can't kill a frog with this, I don't think. No. I need them to play multiple spells. There's the frog. And a wasteland. They're going to wasteland something. Time walk. Okay, well I'm going to kill your frog in response. Let's tap this one. They've got 2 cards in hand, so they can't save it. Time walk resolves. That means I now don't have a dismember for Lurrus, but I think the frog hitting me is worse for me. So that's where I landed. And they've got a Snapcaster Mage for another Time Walk here. And yeah, that's probably us dead and buried at this point. They haven't bought the Lurrus, that's our 1 saving grace. They can't Lurrus and Lotus. I can't attack now. I can't activate any top decked Bazaars now. So I think it's just Frenzied Baloth that I'm after at the moment, or Hex Drinker. They push my Oof. They strip something. I'm back to 1 mana. And they have another frog. I've got 1 card in hand, they attack for 2. Next turn they can buy Lurrus. I draw a Vengevine, I think we're good. Let's go to a new round and see if we can do better. Not too uncommon though, that just sort of outcome where, yeah, the blue-black Lurrus control deck is just kind of custom made to beat us, right? It's got 4 or 5 Wastelands, it's got 4 Bowmasters, it's got Psychic Frog that's bigger than everything we've got, and then it's got Hate Pieces. So if you play this deck, you've just lost the Lurrus matchup, and that's kind of normal for the non-Dredge Bazaar decks, and so it goes. Okie dokie, so we're up against Fatcaster Mage. Let's see if we can keep the puns on blue cards going throughout this league. I'm gonna mulligan. I'm on the draw against another Lurrus deck. Where's all the Lurrus come from? We'll keep our double Bazaar Wasteland hand. We'll get rid of the powder. And see what they do. Misty Rainforest. Why so much Lurrus? Why so much Lurrus all of a sudden? We went weeks without Lurrus, and everyone loved life. Play Bazaar. Give it a spin. We might just get lucky. We don't. Now my head hurts. So Vengevine can definitely go. I think maybe the Cradle goes. Cradle's how I get into Frenzied Baloth and Collector Roof. This Collector Roof isn't going to be good in a Lurrus control matchup. I think Vengevine and Frenzied Baloth are the two to go, and then the Cradle as well, yeah. So keep the Bazaar in case we get Wastelanded. Keep the Collector Roof in case they're PO. Keep the Misstep because it's our only card that has a text box at the moment. And then hope Wasteland is good on the following turn. So they get an Underground Sea, which isn't great for the home team. They play a late Ancestral, which is interesting on the timing. We get our Misstep away. They have a Force Negation pitching Psychic Frog, so it is just blue-black control again. Which is a shame, because we are just dead in deck building. It's my general point of view. They take a peek at the top card of my deck. Then they play a Nihil Spellbomb. That's gonna eat a Vengevine, but I think that's fine. Let's activate Bazaar because I've drawn a hollow one. They know about the hollow one, remember, but let's discard Boseiju Bazaar. No, that can't be good. Boseiju Cradle Oof. No, because I'm trying to cast that Oof. Maybe it is just Bazaar. Boseiju Cradle Bazaar. Wasteland you. Cast hollow one. Boseiju Cradle Bazaar. I don't like it, but that's what I'm doing. Boseiju Cradle Bazaar. Play Wasteland. Wasteland you, who missed a land drop. Now they can't cycle the spell bomb. If I don't get Wastelanded next turn, and they didn't have a Wasteland this turn, and they resolved an Ancestral and still didn't have a Wasteland, so their spell bomb's not going to get a card. They would have seen 2 fresh cards in their main phase next turn because of the bauble trigger. They have a Force of Will pitching yet another Psychic Frog, which is all great news for us. If they find the Wasteland, we probably lose. That's good. That's good. They found a Lotus as well. Holy hell. So you have my Cradle into Hex Drinker. They play a tap land. And how hard do we want to die to a Bowmaster? I guess quite hard. Because I'm never getting this out of range anyway, so it doesn't actually make a difference. There's some mana. They Fatal Push the Hex Drinker. They crack the Spell Bomb. All of our cards are in exile. They play a Psychic Frog. We have 1 Dismember in the main. That's not it. Okay, new game. New game. I still like the boarding idea from last time. I still like all the Dismembers. I don't need Chalice. What was the other thing I dropped? Force of Vigor. And I need 1 more cut from here. I think I only had 3 Dismembers last time. With 2 additional Boseijus, I guess we can cut like a forest or something. Yeah, I think that's good. keeping the oofs, but they are about as close to grizzly bears as they're going to get in this format other than the bizarre mirrors. So it's not incredible, but our opponent doesn't really care about artifacts that much. I mean, they're going to have a cage, they're going to have a spell bomb, but that's not really what the battle's about. The main battle is just them being dead, I think. Let's keep this, see if we can spike a lizard or another hollow one. Back that up with a turn 2 Collectory for Wasteland. We hit the Hex Drinker. The Seiju. I guess Wasteland has to go. Yeah. They might fight this Emerald. They don't. Okay. So I get a Hex Drinker. I get a Hollow One. And a Vengevine. So now none of their hate's very good. They Force of Will the Hollow One, which is fine. I get a Vengevine into play. They pitch a Force of Will. We slay for 4. I'm almost a guarantee to land this Collector. It's only Tabernacle that stops that. So over to us. We've got a misstep now. Let's put a counter on Hex Drinker. Didn't play around Days. Don't know why. And then I'm just going to roll out this Collector Roof. That all gets through. I've got a misstep for literally anything, I think. Ancestrals or Fatal Pushes. In we go. One nice thing about this, though, is if they do try and push my Vengevine in the end step here, and I lose the misstep fight, I can flip my Bazaar looking for a lizard, and if I hit a lizard, my Vengevine comes straight back. None of that happens, but, you know, it's the thought that counts. They pitch a Tormod's Crypt because it doesn't do anything. And then they have an Underground Sea. So it looks like a Bowmaster here. How do you play? Let's just Wasteland that Undercity. And move to combat, I think. Yep. And I think that's fine. I don't think I'm doing anything with Bazaar at the moment. I'm going to attack with both because Collector Roof isn't a part of our plan that matters. They chump here. They keep the Bowmaster around. Just Psychic Frog ends it completely, really. No plays. No plays. Okay. I have a Dismember, which I'm going to go for here. We beat the Days already. We can beat the Fatal Push. They don't have any of those cards. Okay, so we do win a game, which is, you know, a nice change of pace. And I think I'm good. I think I'm happy. You could consider Vigor here because of turn 1 needles and that sort of thing. But I think I want to be playing, tapping my lands and casting my spells at some point in the game, so I need to keep hands that can do that. This can do that. Let's get rid of one of our Besagis then. And now if they just play a Needle, that's a Tormod's Crypt, sure. Polluted Delta and nothing. I was going to say, if they play a Needle here, then we cruise. It's a Serum Powder. Let's go Bazaar and activate the Bazaar. Lizard Vengevine Powder. Let's just get them to do it. They'll pop the Tormod's Crypt. Or not. So they're holding a Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. I've got a Lotus to pay for that. Very interesting that you would let the Vengevine in. That has to mean they've got Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. It can't actually mean anything else. So this Lotus is going absolutely nowhere for the duration of this game. I had no permission. They've just got Psychic Frog then? No, they've just got a Bowmaster, and Bowmaster's not very good into this board state because I have a Gaia's Cradle as well. It can trade with a Vengevine. It can trade with a Vengevine, and I think that's absolutely fine by me. I actually think I'm tapping this Cradle to pump the Lizard. But I shouldn't need to, actually, because they're gonna go for the Lizard here. Which means you can't trade with the Vengevine, and you trade all of these cards for a Lizard. Yeah, right. I think that's great for me. So you're not getting anywhere, right? 1/1 gets in the way of that. You take 7. Do I want to pay more? Play more cards? What happens here? You wasteland my Cradle, you cast Time Walk, you play a Tabernacle. I still have a Lotus and a Boseiju. So I can just... Oh, no, I can't play a Boseiju because that would be cheating. Okay, fine. And I'll hold the Hex Drinker for a second. Back to the opponent. Do you have more Bowmasters that can't compete? They concede the match. Okay, so as I was saying, the Lurrus matchup's kind of close. It's a bit back and forth. Sometimes they've got a Bowmaster, but sometimes you've got a hand that doesn't need a Bazaar of Baghdad. No. Surprised to win it, to be honest, but hey ho, we got there. They obviously missed the Tormod's Crypt on Vengevine. I wouldn't be surprised if they are holding a Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale and no Force of Will for my Lotus. There's an argument that on turn 1 I'm supposed to lead Lotus. Who knows? I was just doing it all to make them crack their Tormod's Crypt. Just make them do the thing. But no, yeah, we get there. Right, round 3, I guess. Okay, round 3. We're up against AAA258. So not a pun on a magic card, which is a shame. I would have liked that. We have got a turn 1 hollow one with Misstep behind. We'll keep. Opponent does not have a Lurrus. Praise be. So that's going to be fun. It's something different to play against. They've got a Mox Emerald. I don't. Oh, so just Bug or Oath. Time Walk. Okie dokie. I mean, I've got Boseiju, which covers Oath. Could be anything still, though, right? Like, no Lurrus can just be a Tinker deck. Can just be a PO deck. I mean, that's not a lot of decks, actually. Could just be regular run-in-the-mill Bug. It's not. Okay. Grixis, but with an Emerald. I'm not sure, actually. Big Breach with Hull Breaches and shit. Do I want to wasteland them off something? Do I care? They've got 4 cards. If I wasteland them, they can't tinker me. I've got Boseiju if they do tinker me. I think I should make a Bazaar. I think I should make a Bazaar. Do I believe that to be true? I could just wasteland them. They've only got 4 cards. I can't cast the Vigor, but then I can Boseiju them next turn if they do get a Tinker out. If I play Bazaar, I mean. So yeah, let's just play Bazaar. Get our activation in. I can misstep a Vamp on end step. Frenzied Baloth is green. So let's go Powder, Cradle. I like Boseiju. Maybe Wasteland's where I'm not supposed to be at this point in time. Cast a hollow one. And now I can use all of my cards next turn. which is quite exciting. I'd love it if opponent forces this. Force pitching repeal. So yes, it's going to be like a classic PO deck then. They've only got 2 cards left in hand. If it's Tinker, then I've got the immediate Vigor. That's a Lotus, okay. PO for 1's an embarrassment. Tezzeret Cruel Captain. Okie dokie then. You've got that. That's in. I'd like it if you tutored. So they tutor up something costing 1. Vexing Bauble would sound powerful in this position. But they're still not getting anywhere with Vexing Bauble, right? Because I've got the misstep. They've only got 1 card in hand. So their Tezzeret's going to die to my Baloth if they don't force me to pitch to Vigor. And then I'm still going to have misstep up. They find a Sensei's top, which is probably just going to sit in hand, right? Oh no, they're going for it now. I'm going to misstep to the top. They've got 1 card, 2 mana. They've used Time Walk already. Where does this take you? Flusterstorm, okay. Sure. So they've got 1 mana left over. I can't do anything about that. They opt to fluster back. It's a shame that they get value off of their fluster. So this comes in, and then they flip it for a 0, and then I still get to kill Tezzeret. And if I top deck a green card, then I get to pitch into Tezzeret as well. Like pitch Vigor on upkeep. So Tezzeret's down, that's confirmed. But they do have a Sensei's top going. We've got to assume they're just a full-blown Tinker deck at this point. I'm not sure what the red would be for. Maybe some Pyroblast in the main, maybe some Lightning Bolts. Maybe they're really into that Flame of Animal Life. But we just get to go Yavimaya Cradle. I do draw the green card. Frenzied Baloth. Baloth. Rah. Give it a read and then watch your Tezzeret die. Yep. And then there's the thing of, do we want to just pitch, cast, upkeep? I think no. Because I might be able to use this to activate in future days, weeks, and months. I might be tempted to pitch cast in response to a top though. A top activation. That might get me excited. And then I'll still have the Boseiju. But it's all of my discard equity. So I think I'm just going to untap, take a card. Yavimaya Cradle. The activation here doesn't look very good, does it? Let's attack for 3 and then develop the Cradle. Yeah, why not? Build up to some hard cast stuff. But Boseiju is going to beat their main board Sphinx. Boseiju is going to beat their Bolas' Citadel quite quickly. They'll get 1 card off of a Citadel. Planeswalkers are under a lot of duress at the moment due to trample and haste out of our Vengevine. So I feel like we're in an acceptable spot. They can't Vault Key me. They take a look with top after giving a shuffle. They didn't want to hang around and see what they drew sort of thing. They knew everything was bad. And then they just pass the turn. So one thing with Boseiju is it does shuffle them away. I'm just going to untap and take a draw. And then I'm gonna have, but then I'll be shields down if I do exactly this, right? If I tap my lands and cast a Vengevine, I'm shields down for the moment in every sense. So maybe I should activate, but then if I get blown out by a Hull Breacher, I'd probably be upset. I think I just play Besage You and cast Vengevine and assume that they're not floating anything good because they've not done anything so far. So that kills them pretty quickly as well. Opponent's going to take a look with top. Maybe this Vengevine attack's really punty because I had a good lock on all of their payoffs prior to this. But we also get to play around Hull Breacher, which is commonplace in a lot of these no Lurrus Tinker decks. You can expect to see 0 to 4 Hull Breachers, but leaning closer to 4. So opponent flips with top and then takes a look. So maybe they need 2 of these 3 cards. So maybe I'm just getting Vault Keyed and casting Vengevine killed me. I could see that being true from here. Mana Crypt, Tinker, Hull Breacher. Okay, Time Twister, gross. Oh, stock up, fine. Their Lotus is gone. Oh, that was scary for a second. And yeah, Hull Breacher is annoying, but I'm surprised we cast Hull Breacher before we cast stock up, actually. I would expect stock up to be a more exciting play to make. So Hull Breacher is unlikely to survive very long, right? It's a Black Lotus. Does that do anything for me? Yeah, probably. I mean, I can't activate my Bazaar of Baghdad anyway, right? So let's just put a Lotus into play and attack with everything. Opponent blocking or not blocking tells us a lot about their hand here. So blocking, we can presume that they do not have access to a Time Vault. Not Time Vault, a Time Twister. They've got a Mana Crypt flip. And I think I just passed through. I think I'd rather keep my spells for later. So they refine the top? Oh, they just got the top back off of the stock up earlier. They are on Crypt flips for a moment. And Tinker's not going to save them here. So they have to get through 2 disenchant effects. They flip with the top, which is exciting. They cast another stock up. Okay. I wonder what they can come up with here. Like, a lot of their good cards are gone. We probably get a nice free activation next turn. Unless they play 2 more mocks in this turn. Just something to try and find a way to reanimate a Vengevine is really good. I can't do that off 1 card, but we can take a look and then see. So that's a Sapphire. Redeploy the top. No, play a Soul Ring. Okay. And then Soul Ring makes Sensei's top. So they are building up to something here. Is that a Lightning Bolt? Floating a red? A Braid. Yeah, right, our guy's dead. They've got no cards in hand. They're on Crypt flips. We could kill top and then shuffle their deck, but I don't think we will. I think we'll just take a draw step. Activate Bazaar. Because lizards are really powerful. Oh, they're just dead. Ding, ding, ding. They're just dead has been declared. So let's see how true that is. Let's cast a Frenzied Baloth. Let's cast a Collector Roof. Let's attack them for 8 points of damage. So we did hold Vigor Boseiju forever there. And didn't die on the one turn we came off of it. And then had the Bizarre activation to end all Bizarre activations, really. I like more Boseijus. I like Mind Break Traps. I like an additional Dismember for their Hull Breachers. I don't think Hexdrinker is where we want to be in this matchup. And I need one more cut, and I think, again, that Forest is fine. We've got 2 more lands coming in. So that all makes, like, nice sense, right? We've got a couple of answers to their Hull Breachers. We've got the use. We've got the Frenzied Baloth. Maybe that's actually a cut in this matchup, but 4 Boseijus and 2 traps is a pretty good place to be. Maybe I could be 3 Baloths, 3 Dismembers. Do I want to try and sneak that in quickly? Run out of time. Okay, 4 Baloths, 2 Dismembers. I don't know how many Hull Breachers there'll be on. Our hand doesn't do anything. Well, it does, but it's not good enough. Chalice maybe on the draw. Isn't great. But let's take a mulligan, because we can't get anywhere with that. So turn 2, Collector Roof. Or turn 3, Collector Roof with Strip Mine. But I think we'll just powder, and we'll just send the Oof back into the deck. And then here, we'll go to 5. And then here, we'll send back Chalice and Wasteland. Chalice and Wasteland, I guess. Keep the Vigor, because we can pitch the Oof and flip cards into Vengevine. So there's an Underground Sea and a Ponder. A lot of Ponders today. This is cool. It's been a bit of a different sort of league than we've had recently. Lots of Tezzerets previously, but like Raker Shops Tezzerets, right? This isn't great for us, them finding Lotus, because now they've just got Hull Breacher, right? So we've got to just be careful with what we do. We could go after their Lotus, but then they're going to have a good time with their Hull Breacher. Let's just pass. So we can still instant speed our activation. Little pause on end step from the opponent. Manifold Key is fine. Mox Opal is less fine. So I'm going to Vigor pitching Baloth here. This will probably get the Hull Breacher out of their hand. If they have it. And we have to then just flip for one of our other 7 lizards, right? Yeah, full 7. Blue, blue, blue. And then they're letting all of that go. And then Mox Opal lands. They have an Academy. And a Hull Breacher. Okay. Well, I'll activate and hope for a lizard. Don't find a lizard. But let's do Vengevine, Lizard, Powder. This does generate us a single mana. If we draw a Cradle later. They've got 1 card left over. I'd like a Yavimaya Cradle, to be honest with you. It's a Wasteland. Let's just kill their Academy. Kill their Academy or just chill, actually? Maybe just chill is really good. I think just chill is really good. Try and resolve a Collector Roof next turn. I should have played the Boseiju if this is what I'm doing. Because now everything's very obvious. They can attack with Hull Breacher because they know I don't have a lizard in hand. I'd like to draw a lizard of some variety this turn. I don't. So let's just play this. Cast Collector Roof. Hope it resolves. It does. Attack for 1. And then next turn we can Wasteland Academy. And their mana's all tied up. We can't do a lot if we're honest with ourselves. Whole breach comes in. That's fine. Back to us. Serum powder. Nope, just strip mine your academy, I think. I know that leaves them with access to fatal push and stuff, but the academy's so scary as the game goes on. I think we just get rid of it and then hope we can beat them up with stuff later. So the whole breach are coming in. I am losing this race, right? But I've got more creatures in my deck. There's a red lizard. So we might at some point give them some treasures. Once I've drawn like a 2-drop green creature, so a Baloth or a Collector Reef, I can cycle my Besagers to cast the first one, discard the lizard, bring back the Vengevine, and then the whole clock changes. But opponent's just purely here to beat me down at the moment. That's a hollow one. That also works. So we discard Besager, Powder, Lizard. Cast Lizard. Cast hollow one. Opponent's got 5 cards in hand. Fatal Push probably loses us this game here. But, you know, we can't really play around that. Opponent's at 6, they're dead next turn. Tabernacle would be annoying, I won't lie to you. Because I'd have to keep my Collector Reef in play, otherwise the game's over. But they've conceded the match. Nice, that was cool. Beat the Whole Breacher, heavily telegraphed on turn 1. We talked about it in game 1 before they got to it in that game, and then it was just obvious from their very first turn. And we only gave them treasures that they couldn't use this game, right? So we played around it all very nicely. And still won through it. So, next round. Okay, round 4, we're up against Miharu Fuyumiya, and they have a Lurrus of the Dream Den, which isn't ideal. We're going to mulligan. We're on the draw. We've got a powder hand here, which I'm going to use. Powder saving what? Powder saving misstep, I assume. I want them to think about it at least. This hand is bad. Right. Lotus, get it countered and die. Or go to 5. But if Lotus resolves and I have a 3-2 and a 2-1, that's still shit. Right. Down to 5. Sadness. What did I show them? Just AggroVine stuff. Nothing exciting. Opponent might be taking some game actions as well. They're on 5. This isn't even a keepable non-bizarre hand, though. That's the upsetting thing. This is a bizarre hand with a Cradle and a Vigor and some other stuff. So let's keep this. Get rid of Vigor, get rid of Powder, get rid of Collector Oof. No, get rid of Frenzied Baloth. I've got to keep the 2 lands because I'm just getting wastelanded on turn 1. And I'm on 4 cards. I might lead Besager. But opponent's mulligan to find their spell bomb or their Orc and Mox sort of thing. Like, into Soul Ring. Okay, so it's a PO build. Oh, God. Give me that double Vigor hand back. PO for 2. But then they get to redeploy Mox plus Soul Ring. I like a Wasteland, please. It's a Lizard. I'm going to throw Lizard out there. Because if I can hit Vigor on the way through, I can't. But let's go Lizard, Cradle, Besager. Maybe actually discarding Emerald is better, because I'm not getting wasted by this opponent. I'm going to hold the Emerald. I can still play through a Vexing Bauble. Maybe it was supposed to be Mox goes. They've got so much mana. So it's just Lurrus PO. This is a stock up by the looks, and it's just a Lurrus, and then they can play Lurrus, and then I play Collector Roof. And then it's just Collector Roof versus Lurrus with nothing to do. They've got a Tundra, so Plow's available. Frenzied Baloth isn't very good. I don't want to activate though. So let's just go Yavimaya Cradle Collect Roof. And if it resolves, it resolves. Maybe Baloth was better actually, because then I beat the Force of Wills in the future. I don't attack because they've got a 3-2. I can still just get plowed, but this Mox Emerald is going to be discard equity in a moment. And then I don't know how to progress from here. That's my answer for you. Plow the Youth, yeah, sure. Play a Mana Vault. Attack for 3. Okay. One Vengevine left the building earlier. That's a Hex Drinker. Maybe that's the way to play. Just Emerald, Baloth, Hex Drinker. Frenzied Baloth. Attack for 4. No, let's just cast the Hex Drinker first, and then attack for 4. Because I'm happy to trade Hex Drinker with Lurrus. That's not at all upsetting to me. In we go. Opponent's at 18, maybe. Oh, they can snap PO in combat here, right? Oh, that's really gross. Yeah, snap PO will make us move to a new game. No snap PO, but I think they could have it. So then 3 cards. Lurrus attacks. Wow. Well, I just offer up the block, of course. And then that just happens. So they were actually scared of the Hex Drinker and the clock it presented. I think I can activate this turn. I can't imagine they've got a Bowmaster in their deck. Vengevine Lotus. Wasteland. Let's waste your Academy. Maybe that's wrong, actually. Maybe it's Wasteland your Tundra. Because then you can't plow my creatures. Pump the Lizard and it's your go. So it's just 6 a turn, and that's just the joke here, I think. I've always got 2 mana, so I can always flip this Bazaar. Uh-oh. Looks like we've drawn a PO. Thundertrap Trainer double kicked. Okay. So that will beat up on the Baloth. They don't have Lurrus anymore. But Plow's going to be annoying. Time Walk's horrendous. Time Walk into stock up. Oh, yeah, okay. We'll let the... Yeah, we're just dead, aren't we? So it's just a monkey PO list, though. So that's not too bad. Our Chalice is going to be nice and tasty. Mindbreak Trap. Maybe a Besage or 2. But they don't really have anything good in their deck, right? It's because it's 4th Airlingus is the kill condition. It's just infinite value all the time. They've got a Tundra. They don't attack. They want that double block. I am going to flip, though. Just because, like, Lizard, top deck, Collect Roof. Oh, the cards are in the wrong order. This can't be countered. Lizard, top deck, Collect Roof. That's exactly what I was saying. I get a Vengevine as well. Collect Roof can't be countered, but opponent can very easily have another Plow by now. I assume they play 2 or 3. cards were in the right order. I take back all of my criticisms of how we shuffled this game. But their forces are dead. It has to be exactly plows or portable holes. Opponent plows a Frenzied Baloth so that they can then force a Vuller Collect Roof. Nice plays. I still get a Vengevine. So they did have everything rolled up there. We just get in for 4 because we're out of mana to keep our lizards alive. The token gets in the way of the Vengevine. Opponent still has 3 cards in hand. After Ancestral Stock Up Time Walk in the last turn cycle and double Thunder Trap. Oh, but they are untapping. No, they're POing. Okay, get fucked. That's annoying. If that was untapping, that was really good for us. But now they've got 12 cards in hand. One of them's a Thunder Trap that they're going to double kick. We can never break through. Right, let's go to a new one. I think that's fine. As much as I do like making people play shit out, I think we can just move on to the next one here. I don't know if I want the Besagis, to be honest with you. I mean, I can bring in a Besagi over a forest, right? That's close to free. Dismember for Lurrus? No. Let's just drop the Dismember. Drop the Hex Drinker. Besagi? I don't even want the Besagis, no. I think I'm just going to bring in Mindbreak Traps to try and keep them honest. And then we've just got to stick a Collector Roof and have a Misstep in hand. I think that's fair. I mean, we mulliganed to 4, but they did mulligan to 5. But they had an Academy Soaring Jet PO. And so I don't like the idea that they can mulligan better than me. That's not how this is supposed to work. Right, we're on the play for game 2 though, which is nice. Opponent's going to have a Lurrus of the Dream Den again. There it is. We've got no castable spells, so that's Powder. And now we've got something close to very good. So let's keep this. And hope we get a Lizard. No Lizard. So Vengevine, Cradle, Wasteland. Could be Wasteland, could be Hex Drinker. I think maybe Hex Drinker's the play. I can cast Hex Drinker next turn. No, I'm going to get rid of Wasteland. Because then I can pitch my Hex Drinker. Let's just cast a Hollow one because I'm not convinced I'm going to have 2 mana or 2 spells next turn. I've got a pitch cast for the Hex Drinker here, which is good. A Hollow one might just be like Tundra Plowed or something. It's a basic island into a Vexing Bauble, which is decent. Let's see if we can draw a Lizard for the turn. That's going to be the nut high for us. There's a Lizard. Is that even the nut high? I need another Vengevine. I need something. I don't know what. I want to get to 2 creatures in play. Lizard, Vigor, Bizarre. Because yes, they're going to get a turn. We cast Basking. That gets countered. Then we cast Hex Drinker, which resolves, and we get an Vengevine. And then now next turn I can play 1 to 2 Collector Roofs. And I'm insulated against Gaia's Cradle. They take a clean and easy 8. Wait, they're just dead next turn. Yeah, because I can actually just... If they don't produce white mana this turn, I can just pay 3 and make my Hex Drinker thick. It's a white source, so we can't make that play now. This might just be a Thunder Trap, though. Thunder Trap, yeah. Okay. Thunder Trap finds them a ruby that they can't cast. If I can get the... I can get the oof in. We know I can get the oof in. Black Lotus doesn't do anything. I think I just want to collect oofs. Is there a way I can get further, though? Not really, right? Because I can't produce an additional mana. What can I do, though? I can hit Lizard Vengevine. So I guess that's worth doing. It's narrow, but actually that's way better. So we come off the Collector Roof. We play the Strip Mine and we Strip Mine the Tundra. We tap this for 3. We make a Collector Roof and we put a counter on Hex Drinker. And they concede the game. Because Vexing Bauble plus Oof there locks out all of their zeros forever. They're never casting them. So that was cool on the play. I can see a number of dismembers being reasonable in this matchup. Maybe even over the trap. I don't know though. I don't think I like it. I think I'd rather have more interaction for their turn 1 POs on the draw. And Chalice has play later into the game. So I think we still want to be on Chalice of the Void. This hand's nonsense. So let's get rid of that. This hand can't produce mana either. So that also has to go to the bin. Which is a shame. And this hand also can't do anything. Oh, good grief. Okay. Get rid of Vigor, get rid of Lizard, get rid of Forest. You'll go. We're going to produce some power and toughness, but it's possible that that's not good enough. Tundra, Manifold, and a pass of the turn. They've got 4 cards left over. We're going to play Bazaar and activate it. 2 Vengevines? Too much to ask. Okay. Yeah. Lizard, Baloth, Cradle. That's not what we're about today. We are all about that hollow 1. So let's cast Styx. We want this to get Force of Willed, right? And we want this to get Force of Willed, right? That's a Chalice of the Void. Everything gets through. We die to Tabernacle. We're always going to die to Tabernacle here because I'm always deploying. And then, you know, if I was on 5, I'd hold the Cradle there, but I couldn't. Opponent's got a Delta to fetch out a Volcanic. Volcanic could be 4th for 3. It's just a Thunder Trap, though. 4th for 3 would be fun to play against in that spot. Opponent's Thunder Trap finds a card, I'm sure. Merchant Scroll. So that's going to be a Ancestral or Plough next turn. There's going to be an Ancestral next turn. Or maybe a PO, actually. We get rid of Vigor Vengevine. We draw a Yavimaya Cradle, which I'm going to hold for... Am I going to hold? Let's just send the 2 hollow ones. I think 2 hollow ones is good. I think I like having the Lizard around. So they're going to Ancestral or PO for 2 to 3 cards. They might go Land Merchant for Flame of Anor. At which point it's kill your hollow one, kill your Chalice. That would be annoying. So I think a lot of their lines do not go through Tabernacle at this point. So I think I'm happy to slow roll this Cradle into getting a Vengevine back next turn. If they play Tabernacle, then, you know, I had the tools to deal with it, but I think land drop, get Flame of Anor is far more important for them than just playing a tab. That's a Scalding Tarn. Like, the full value Flame is really difficult to beat anyway, but deal 5 to a creature, kill your Chalice, deploy all my crap, play a PO. I mean, they'd have to have a Mana Crypt or a Lotus to do that, but it's not out of the realms of possibility, right? 1 mana floating. This just gives me a good activation this turn. They've got 3 cards left over. Wasteland. I do quite like Wasteland. I'm going to activate anyway. It's unlikely to get me anywhere. I'm just going to keep the Wasteland. And I'm going to go after their mana. Because this is a way we can get back into this game. I know I'm leaving them with white, but, you know. So Mana Vault's going to tick up. We've kept them off PO for this turn and next, depending on the number of zeros they have. That's a Mox Opal. And a Vexing Bauble, so that Opal's awake, which means they've got PO next turn. Do you have Swords to Plowshares, though? That's the big question here. Otherwise, your Thunder Trap's going to have to get in the way. They immediately go through the Bauble. I mean, that's really good for us, but it's also really bad for us. I still can't attack with the Lizard because the Plow's going to make us sad. I don't know why I've picked up a card here, but I don't hate that I have, actually. Let's get in for 4 and hope for no Plow. Thunder Trap's in the way. Thunder Trap's dead. Okay, so no Plow for the opponent. I'm going to hold this for a second. Because they're going to go to 4 here. And if they go like stock up Mox Plow, right, we are cruising. There's a Mox. PO. No. I needed this to be stock up. The mana rebate is just brutal. What did they just pick up though? Sapphire, Volt, Opal, and something else. I think I might trap the Opal. I think I might trap the Opal. That gets a Force of Will out of them, is how big that was. Okay. This might be just like the last minute recovery from Miharu here. So they've got Plow open, I guess. I just flip end step for Lizards. There's one. Any green source basically wins. Not the forest. Not the Besages, but like one of the 2 mana green sources. Which means I can't activate my Bizarre Upkeep again. Yeah, you plow the Hollow one, we know that already. But I need to keep this in case I draw Lotus or Yavimaya Cradle or Gaia's Cradle, right? Yavimaya Cradle is the one we're thinking of. That ain't it. Opponent goes to 2. Opponent goes to 1, sorry. I can't make 2 mana from here. Opponent's going to get to buy and play Lurrus. I don't care too much about the Vexing Bauble coming out of the bin, because I'm not playing this Emerald. I'm trying to hold this Emerald for fodder. Snapcaster Plow, Snapcaster PO. Probably PO, right? That's so close. Not so close. This is a no Collector Reef game, right? PO's for a bunch, 10 cards in hand. Can't play a Lurrus. Close one. I didn't mean to open chat. Close one, though. Like, we have decent outs in that last draw step. There was a draw step that I took with Mindbreak Trap, which maybe I shouldn't have had. But, like, I wasn't too upset about the Mindbreak. We know they've got a Snapcaster Mage in hand, which means one of my Lizards is dead and the other one can't get through. They can play the Mana Vault. They can play an Academy, sure. Yeah. No, that was a close one. I do need them to kill me though, because they are at 1. Although I know I can't get through. They know I can't get through. Snapcaster PO. Just run it back. Yeah. Alright then, no, that's fine. I think we know I can't get through, right? Because this blocks and then this plows. So that's one thing already. They can draw Flame of Anors as well. They might just be able to snap back a Flame of Anor and kill this, block this, draw 2 cards. They can also buy and deploy Lurrus this turn. You know, this is completely over at this point. And every PO is 2 POs because of the Snapcaster Mage. Fine. Alright, good games, Miharu. That was cool. That was a close one, though. At least this game was. The match might not have been. Okay, 5th and final round on the draw against ASY. Imagine if this was a Bazaar. Opponent's got 61 cards, so probably mono white. Let's mulligan. His hand is worse, but it's also playable. I'm going to keep this and bottom a Hex Drinker. And then they've got a Beseiju. So we're against Oath of Druids. Charlatan Zero is absolutely fine, bro. You got it. Okay, then. How bizarre. How strange. It's got to be Oath. I refuse to believe it's not. I refuse to believe it's not, but I also don't know how to beat it. So I could play Bazaar of Baghdad. I think I will. Oof, oof, oof. They've just played a Chalice and a Mox Sapphire, so they're not playing artifacts, right? Do I just discard 3 Collect Roofs? No, I just discard Collect Roof and 2 Collect Roofs and a Hex Drinker, and then we'll cast our Hollow One. And then this isn't a Beseiju in my hand. I thought it was a Beseiju. Oh, forcible pitching misstep. Yeah, sure. I don't mind. I was scared of playing a creature, to be honest with you, so thank you for stopping that. Forbidden Orchard. Stock up. I don't know what just happened. Okay, so I need to find one of my Beseijus. Or a Force of Vigor. But Force of Vigor is not, like, tremendously exciting. It's just not, right? That's why. It's just not tremendously exciting. Upkeep, we get a Vengevine. Yeah, right. I'll venge some vines. So Vengevine. Alright, see you later, Collect Roof. Thanks for joining. And then Dismember can go as well. And then we're going to have a Misstep in hand. So Hex Drinker. Hollow One. Get back a Vengevine. I wouldn't have hated that Dismember, but... Can I get to 14? No, I can get to 13. If those play Show Until I Die. Brainstorm? No, thank you. Oath kills them, I think. Oh no, I need to top deck a land. So I need to get another mana here. Oath of Druids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I need to top deck a land. And so I've got to take a draw step. It's a Bazaar of Baghdad. We go to the skies, we attack for 14. Good games, thanks for joining. Nice. Okay. We steal game 1 against Oath of Druids. Oath of Druids also on that very long list of decks you don't want to play against. 2 Beseijus and a Loam. 1 Dismember. Hexring is not actually an embarrassment. Red Lizards kind of are. Collector Roof's also quite embarrassing. Oh man, my deck is embarrassing, isn't it? I don't know what to do about these lizards. I really like them. Maybe Collector Roof is worse. Damage can't be prevented. That doesn't really mean anything to us, does it? I mean, it is a hasty creature. I think the Collector Roofs are going to go for now. Keep the Lizards, because that gives me my explosive draws. I've got Besagers, which kill Oath of Druids, which is like our most important one in a green creature. I wonder why they're on 61. I always find 61 really interesting. This hand's really bad. It does have Wasteland and Vigor, right? So let's keep this. Opponent mulligans. I don't have a green card to go with this figure, so I can't even fight a turn 1 land Mox Oath. But I don't need to because they've played this land. Well, they might have a quick show and tell here. Stock up. Okay. So I would like a green card from the top rope. This puts them on 4 cards in hand. If we can nail a green card from the top, then we'll just waste their trop and aim to double Stone Rain them in their upkeep. It's not a green card. So I think I have to activate Bazaar and leave them with a trop. Aim for green card here. Find 2 Vengevines. Let's discard Powder. Vengevine. And then what? I guess just Forest. Powder, Vengevine, Forest. Play Besage you, Wasteland you. Something, something. Do I play Hollow One? No. I don't think so. I'm going to Vigor them upkeep. This might get a Flusterstorm out of them. Maybe Vigor end step's better, actually. But we've already done it. What the hell is that? It's a Hull Breacher. Oh. Why is that in your deck? You could have had an Attractor in your deck. Okay, that's interesting. Let's Wasteland them then. And then we're just going to look for another Lizard, and then we'll give them some treasure tokens, and they'll die to a Vengevine. That's roughly the game plan in this position, I think. So... yeah, I get hits, some damage. You play a Misty Rainforest. Find a Lizard. I'm going to Wasteland you. Discard 3 cards. No, I think I'd like to develop a single Besage before going all in. See what they're up to. It's a Forbidden Orchard. Turning off auto yield 6. We can... I know that doesn't actually mean anything, but like in terms of strategic gameplay. But if they do try to beat me with Hull Breacher here and give me a token, I can activate my Bazaar and block with token Lizard, have a Vengevine in play. They don't do that. Okay, fine. Okay. So back to us. I don't have Dismember in my deck, which might be why their dupe is good. It's a Hex Drinker. So what if I just play Besage? I'm on 14. Like I can play Besage, and then next turn play Besage, cast 2 spells. Or I can discard 3 Besages. I'm just going to play Besage. Next time I can do it all without going through there. Without going through their treasure tokens, you know. They attack me to 11, but then I get to cast 2 spells, bring back a Vengevine. Have a Hollow One for later on. Another Forbidden Orchard. Another Bazaar of Baghdad. Let's cast a Hex Drinker. And then we'll play this. We're already dead to that Oath of Druids anyway. But now we've bought our Vengevine back without messing up and giving them a bunch of treasures. And I think that's cool. I will block with this Hex Drinker if they send it, but they might not send it anymore. Scalding Tarn. 3 cards for the opponent. Allegedly all useless. No, not all useless. They fetch a Trop. They fetch a Trop. You just have Oath. There's also Hull Breaches in your deck. I'd like a Gaia's Cradle, please. Blazing Lizard. I'm going to attack with everything. I think. Yeah. Send squad. Send squad. Trying to eat the lizard is the consideration at the moment. What's the likelihood of me having an Elvish Spirit Guide in my deck? Quite low. Or you just take 7 and assume you hit the Atraxa. Let's suit up the kid and then ship it over. Holding the Bazaar here because we want to be able to maybe bring back the Vengevine later. Oath triggers. They find another Hull Breacher. Comes back to us. They might bink me for 3, but I doubt it. I'd like a Gaia's Cradle here. Strip Mine. Strip Mine's still very good, right? That still makes this guy a 4/4. I presume I can just attack with everything. Maybe making this a 4/4 is bad. No, I always end up with one creature, right? I don't know how many Hull Breaches they're going to have in their deck, but we'll let them run the gambit. One Hull Breacher dies, one Hull Breacher survives. Unless they trade with the Vengevine, at which point I get to activate post-combat. They're doing this. Okay, so they take 4 and they go to 3. Which means their Oath doesn't trigger. Maybe I'm... Then they didn't activate Forbidden Orchard either, so they didn't want to trigger their Oath of Druids. That's 6 mana, so they're getting closer and closer to actual factual just casting Atraxa. What, am I on 3 counters? How can I get to 4 counters from here? Just Lotus? Force of Vigor. I can't cast that. Does Vengevine just kill here? I think so. So discard Lizard Bazaar, Force of Vigor. Cast Hollow One. Attack for 4. Alright. They've got an Atraxa next turn. There's not a lot we can do about it. Actually, we can strip mine them. Yep. Do you have responses? No, you don't. Very nice. That was cool. So that was a fun league. We beat Lurrus, which is incredible. We then lost to Miharu and Lurrus in round 1. And then we beat Oath and a deck that I can't remember, actually. But still. Oh, another Tinker deck. It's one of those things with this deck is I don't know if you have good matchups. That's just how it seems to work with this one. There's nothing you're excited to play against, and all of your games are scrappy and close like this one was. Um, Opponent bought in Hull Breaches. I'm really dubious on that. Obviously, it did something right. Obviously, I wasn't flipping cards over, but like, you just Vengevine. You didn't no, not just Vengevine, but like, just Attractor's so big. If the Attractor lands, I just lose, right? What do I have? I have you block my hollow one and I dismember it, which means I need to have my dismembers in post boarding against your Attractors, which I'm not going to do. So I don't know about the Hull Breaches against us, but hey ho. Frenzied Baloth. What do you think about that? I think it was cute. I would have liked to have played against the One Ring decks, to be honest with you. We didn't play against any of those, but that's what it's there for. Because then you've got kind of like 8 cards, which are kind of sick against the One Ring with just Ufan Baloth for your turn 2 green plays. I don't know, that was a fun league. This is always a fun deck. Whilst Edge of Eternities doesn't look incredible, it does have a bunch of cards which you can just about squeeze into Vintage and come up with some justifiable defense against them. But yeah, no. AggroVine League, a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.